Hey everyone, welcome to our first algebra lesson of the semester. We're going to start our new topic on polynomials and polynomial operations. So the first thing we need to do is just discuss some of the terms that we're going to be using in our target. And our target is to be able to classify polynomials in standard form. So the first thing we need to talk about is what we call a monomial. And a monomial is a single term polynomial. So it's a single term polynomial. So it's just one term, like 3x or 5 or 2x squared. That is a single term polynomial. Another term that we're going to talk about is the degree of a monomial is the sum of the exponents of the variables. So we're going to look at that here in our first example. Example 1 is just finding the degree. So if you go down to your examples and find the degree of the monomials, it is what we said earlier, it is the sum of the exponents. So if you look at number 1, part A, it has no exponents. Okay, so it has no exponents in the variables. So this is a 0 degree polynomial. Okay, it's a 0 degree monomial. If you look at B, this is a 4th degree monomial because the sum of the exponents of the variables is 4. If you look at the C example, we have 5x to the third y. Well, technically there's a 1 for the exponent with the y, and so this would be 3 plus 1 if we add the exponents, which makes 4, so this is also a 4th degree polynomial. Okay, so that's how we find the degree. We just add the exponents in a monomial. Okay. Now, if we take more than one monomial, then we get a polynomial. So a polynomial, and what we're going to be using is an algebraic expression that has multiple terms. Okay, or more than one term. They do not have negative exponents or division by a variable. Okay, so pretty polynomials should look pretty self-explanatory when you look at them. Okay, the degree of a polynomial is determined by the largest value of the exponents in one term. So it's whichever term has the largest degree or value. So when we look at those, it's kind of what we just talked about. And then one thing we're going to use a lot is what we call standard form. And for a polynomial to be in standard form, the terms are written in descending order by their degree. So they go by their degrees. So they're going to go largest degree to smallest degree. Okay. So if we come down here and look at these examples, the first thing we're going to do is just write them in standard form. So if we look at the first example, 3x squared plus 10x to the fourth, what is our largest degree? Our largest degree is the 4 compared to the 2. So we have 10x to the fourth plus 3x squared. That is our standard form. Okay. So now if we look at B, if we want to put that in standard form, we have to check our degree. So this one has 3 because 2 plus 1. 1 and 1, and this one makes 2. And this one is 2 and 2 makes 4. So that is our largest degree, so that's going to be our first one. So we got 2x squared y squared plus 4x squared y, and then minus 3xy. That would be our standard form of that polynomial. Now we're not going to work a lot with those, but I just wanted to show you that as an example. If you look at our last one then, here we got a degree. If we look at the first term, this is a degree of 1, degree of 3, degree of 2, and a degree of 4. So we're going to start with our largest one. Notice it has a negative in front of it, so it's going to come along. So we got negative 8x to the 4th. Then the next biggest one is negative 3x cubed. Then plus 2xy. And then plus 5x as we go in order by degree. That would be our standard form. Now sometimes you may see these, if one has two variables, you may see it written this way. Negative 8x to the 4th minus 3x cubed plus 5x plus 2xy, because it has an extra variable. That can sometimes happen and be pretty common as well. Okay, and then now the last thing we're going to talk about is how to classify a polynomial. Polynomials are classified in two ways. They're classified by the number of terms and by the degree. Now, if you look at this chart right here, we're going to kind of use this. We're going to use this more than we are the other one, but I wanted to introduce it to you. One term we already talked about is a monomial. Two terms is a binomial. Three terms is a trinomial. And anything over that we do not have for a name for, so we just call it a polynomial. Okay? And then you can see your degree terms over here. So if we look at our examples real quick, notice this one has two terms. Okay? And it is a fourth degree, so we got fourth degree binomial is how we would classify that. Now, if you look at our next one, we had a largest degree of 4 again, so this would be a fourth degree trinomial because it has 3 terms. And the last one is just a polynomial that has 4 terms, and again, it's fourth degree. So I don't even know why we're worried about the degree, but you have the chart. So make sure you use the chart to help you in your practices and things like that. But this is a fourth degree polynomial. And that kind of wraps up kind of the basics of our terms. You're going to want to make sure you know these terms, so make sure you read them and study them. And now you can head to the first try it practices to go with Learning Target 7.1a.